Thank you. So here we are at the Italian American Hall in Scotch Plains, New Jersey, October 30th, 2010, the 30th year of the Smithereens, the legendary alt-rock group.
Some might argue
founded by Pat Dinizio and friends from Carteret High School. And Pat, tell us about the special event here today, the 5th annual Halloween event here at the club. What's it all about?
We have an event every year, not so much to celebrate my birthday, which is in October, but to celebrate life and rock and roll music and Halloween. And it's a nice time for the fans to get together with the Smithereens and for us to meet with them. There are folks flying in from Washington State, from California, from Atlanta, from Detroit. People come in from all over the country.
Wow.
And it also provides an opportunity for them to get up at the end of the night and play guitar or sing with the Smithereens. It's a fan jam. It's a unique thing.
Because you're very innovative. The fan jam, the living room concerts.
Well, I realized that the demographic had changed. The folks who were kids, when we were kids, they grew up with us, and they got married and had children and mortgages and jobs, and so they became a less active audience that were less inclined to go out on a weeknight to see a band. So I have, thanks to their help, been able to create events in which we go to them. You know, like the living room concerts. I travel all over the country. I did several last weekend. I did one in Seattle, Washington, and another one in Vancouver.
Yeah, you have a lot of friends on the West Coast.
Yeah, so.
Okay, and why what are the bands that are performing here tonight with you?
Well, Graham Parker is one of my early musical heroes. When Graham Parker put out his album Heat Treatment back in '77 or '76, it was the first album that I had heard in a very long time, since the Beatles had stopped making records in which virtually every song on it was a classic. And he was one of the songwriters, performers like early Elvis Costello, certainly the Beatles, the new wave artists from the late '70s, Buddy Holly, that inspired me to become a songwriter. And
fantastic.
We know him for many years. It was a great thrill for us on our first tour of Europe and Great Britain. After a great show at a venue called the Town and Country in London, a legendary venue, we were backstage and we were kind of basking in that glow of success in a market that we'd never played for people who are really different than us, you know, for British folks. And it went over so well, and the icing on the cake was someone came backstage and said, "Graham is here to see you, to say hi." And I said, "Graham who?" I said, "Graham Parker," and he was one of our idols.
Yeah,
and
fantastic.
We later were the first band to headline a television show that became legendary called MTV Unplugged.
Oh,
we did episode 1. And we invited Graham to be our guest on that show.
So a lot of history and a lot of history going forward here today.
We've remained friends ever since.
Very nice. What about the Gripweeds?
The Gripweeds are a band from New Brunswick, and in many ways they're part of the extended Smithereens family. Kurt Ryle, who's their drummer, plays he writes songs for them. He's one of the members of the Gripweeds. He has produced and engineered the last 6 or 7 Smithereens records.
Oh, okay. So do they join you often, or is this the first time?
We don't do too many gigs together. We did one in New England a while ago, but they're part of the family, and they wanted to take part in the event.
Okay, so, and the Scotch Plainsmen are local Beatles guys?
Well, the Scotch Plainsmen are a unique aggregation of a musical cohort. None except for myself who are actually professional musicians, and we specialize in doing entire Beatles albums exactly the way that we remember them growing up. So it's fun, and it adds to the diversity or the eclectic nature of the evening to have that. You know.
Fantastic. Sonny Lee and Home at Last.
Friends of mine that wanted to be part of the night.
Amateur musicians, or
they all work regular jobs. So you've got professional bands like the Smithereens, Graham Parker. The Gripweeds are a real pro band, although they do other things, I think, to earn a living, but they're as pro as anyone. And basically, these are folks, everybody that you're going to hear tonight, but for fortune or timing or not having the luck that the Smithereens had, we were standing on the right corner at the right time and got the break when we needed it. They could have all easily been professional musicians, but you know, life does things to you. And some sell insurance, some are doctors, some are Presbyterian ministers. You know, everybody does different things, but we all share. Beside a love of life, the commonality here is that we love music and we love rock and roll.
Right. And one of your great signatures is to always engage and extend with people.
Well,
I think
it's important, especially if you've achieved some success. If you're lucky enough to have a career doing what you love to do for a living, and someone who would like to do it comes to you and asks you questions or asks you to provide some information or help, I think you're obliged to help. I know certainly that when I was coming up, those who held the keys to the kingdom guarded those keys jealously, wouldn't share any information, nor would they give any help. So I sort of made a silent commitment to myself that if anyone I knew or anyone I met in my travels needed help and I could provide it, I would do so.
God bless you, Mr. Smithereen.
That's a good title for my next album. Thanks, Tori.
Thank you.
Thank you.